Hello, my name is Nupur Shah and today's topic is hallux valgus. So here we begin. This is the picture of the hallux valgus shown over here. You can see the bunion formation at the metatarsal head and there is abnormal abduction at the great toe and adduction at the phalanges. So coming on to the introduction, this is the deformity which is characterized by abnormal abduction of the first metatarsal and the adduction of the phalanges, which we just saw in the picture. It is usually present during the early life but gets aggravated later in the life if it is not treated properly. And injuries or diseases such as gout, arthritis, or even bad footwear can precipitate this condition. So if the female is having the problem of gout or flat feet, then if the female is wearing the high heels, then this condition is very common. It is more common in females as compared to males. It could be congenital or it could be acquired. The false bursa may form over the first metatarsal head, which may get thickened and enlarged. This is known as the bunion. So we saw the bunion in the picture over the head of the metatarsal. The articular cartilage get inflamed, eroded and atrophied. New bone formation takes place on the medial side of the metatarsal head. The tendon of the extensor hallucis longus is shortened and it is displaced laterally. It acts with the mechanical disadvantage, increasing the deformity with time, and this results in the flat foot and eversion of the foot. Causes could be acquired or congenital. In congenital, there is family history, means there is familial genes of this condition, and in acquired, it is acquired because of any bad footwear or because of improper strength of the lumbricals or the intrinsic muscles of the feet, and wearing high heels regularly over a long period of time. These all will be coming under the acquired causes, and genetic problem will be coming under the congenital causes. So this is the X-ray of the hallux valgus, which you can see. Usually X-ray is not required in the diagnosis of hallux valgus because it is clearly seen and physical examination can be done, and there will be lack of range of motion in it and pain over this part, especially at the place where bunion is developed at the metatarsal head. Otherwise X-ray is not necessary. But if some other problem of the foot is there, say for example, if any trauma happens and the patient is going for an X-ray, at that time hallux valgus can also be diagnosed. So surgical management, which is usually rare and it is not required. In asymptomatic patients, the patient lives normally without any symptoms with hallux valgus. But if it is symptomatic, then first conservative management is done, and if it doesn't work out, then only surgical management is done. So what is surgical management? It usually consists of the arthroplasty, arthrodesis, where the fusion is done. The third option is the Keller's operation, where the proximal 2/3 of the proximal phalanx are removed with the bunion and the medial portion of the head of the metatarsal. Coming on to the PT management, so as a physiotherapist, what would be our goal? Our goal would be that the patient walks normally without any problem, without any balance problem, or without any deviation of the gait. Second is there is no restriction of the range at the metatarsal or the phalanges. And third is there is no pain. So these would be the goals of the physiotherapist. So what would be the management as a physiotherapist? Relaxed passive stretching of the abduction of the toe. This stretching has to be taught to the patient or even to the bystander, because repeatedly this stretching has to be done throughout the day, at least twice or thrice daily. Then bed should be kept between the great toe and the second toe, along with a straight inner border of the footwear. And lumbrical muscle strengthening needs to be done regularly. Proper weight bearing, for that gait training is important, along with proper footwear and Faradic footpath. So the footwear which has to be worn has been described here. And if the physiotherapy management after surgery, means if the patient is going for surgery, then what a physiotherapist can do after the surgery. The example here is fanning of the toes in the warm water, weight transfers, gait training and ambulatory activities. Lumbrical strengthening and passive stretching of the great toe will be common as we saw on the previous slides. Faradic foot bath will cause relief of the pain, increase in the blood circulation, and the patient will feel better after taking it. So for some amount of weeks he can continue for Faradic foot bath, but there should not be any dependence on the Faradic foot bath. Even grade 1 or grade 2 Maitland mobilization can be given at the grade toe for pain relief. Toe curl exercises has to be taught, which is the intrinsic muscles exercises of the foot. The patient has to curl the toes, hold it and relax. The patient has to curl the toes and relax immediately. It has to be done with hold or without hold. And the patient has to pick up the towel with the help of the toes. With the toes means towel has to be kept on the floor, and the patient has to pick up the towel or the napkin from the floor, and he has to hold that and relax. So that is all the lumbrical muscle strengthening or intrinsic muscle strengthening of the feet which can be done, which will help in improving the arch also. The arch will not get more, means if it is flat foot then the arch will not come back, but the intrinsic muscles will be strengthened, so the patient will get more strength to bear the forces which are falling on the foot in everyday routine. So these are the splints which can be worn by the patient. It separates the great toe from the second toe. It normalizes the alignment, and this is the second one which is shown is the dynamic one, and the first one which is shown is the static one. And the patient has to wear this throughout the day. He has to remove it at night, and whenever he goes out, this has to be worn within the footwear, so that pain doesn't happen whenever he walks on the uneven surfaces. So along with this splint, the exercises needs to be done, and Faradic foot bath or even normal cryotherapy or hot packs can be given in the initial stages, and Maitland grade 1, grade 2 mobilization can be given for pain relief. Thank you.